Amaterasu.
You know what's better than a friend versus friend fight? A brother versus brother fight. Today we're taking a look at times where hoes came before bros. And no, thoughts don't have anything to do with this list, I just wanted to make that reference. Before the video starts, can you hook up a brother with a like and a sub? Come on man, hook up a brother, that would be appreciated. P.S. Due to the nature of this list, I'm morally obliged to tell you, spoiler alert, this list contains spoilers.
ようやく会えたね、兄さん。
ジン、てめえ。
さあ、存分に戦おうか。
We're going to begin this list with a man with a big brother complex. Ragnar versus Jin from BLU-RAYs Ultra Memory. This brotherly showdown included a sword fight, close magic combat which I love, and lots of creepy Nissan calls.
Nissan, 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 Nissan!
It's a nice decent fight which not a lot of people know about since the anime, unlike the games, aren't that popular. And by the way, I highly recommend the game series, you should try that out too. Natsu vs Zeref is next. This fight was done in the span of 2 episodes, 17 and 18, and in these episodes Natsu's heritage gets revealed as well as his true nature as END, Aetherius Natsu Dragneel. Now if we're being honest, this fight isn't my personal favourite out of the bunch, but we've put it in here anyway. It's a decent 1v1, but it could have been much better. At least the revelations like Natsu's backstory made up for it, which he kinda himself said fuck to it and threw it back to Zeref's face along with a blazing punch. Thankfully, the two brothers will meet again at the end of the series when they reach the peak of their powers, with some characters tagging along for the final better fight, where old man Zeref will eventually get what he longed for after all those years.
少しはできるようになったか。だがその程度では私には勝てん。
Ashura vs Indra, Naruto. And in 8th place, it's the mother of all family disputes, Ashura vs Indra. Yep, we included a Naruto fight because they're just so goddamn good. This particular fight was fought multiple times over multiple decades and reincarnations, right down to Naruto and Sasuke, and it first begins with the sage of 6 Paths sons, Ashura and Indra. Although this fight may not be the finest of all Naruto fights, I mean, I still personally like it. Not only did Ashura vs Indra showcase how people use the ninja techniques for the first time, like the Chidori and multiple Rasengan, but it also set up so many rivalries that ended with sick fights and chilling moments. Hashtag the fight that keeps on giving. Goku vs Raditz, Dragon Ball Z. What a trip down memory lane this fight is. It's always a blast when you have a Saiyan versus Saiyan fight, let alone a brother versus brother fight. This classic 2v1 fight had Goku and Piccolo pinned against Raditz, and let me tell you, it was fire, lit, flame emoji, everything in between. Now I know you might be thinking, oh he's exaggerating, but I'm not. This is my favourite fight right after Goku versus Vegeta for the first time, but don't get me wrong, I do love some Super Saiyan transformations, a big scale Kamehameha blasted mid-air, and ever-changing alien forms. However, it gets tiring when every fight becomes that. Call me a boomer, but I do miss the good old days when aliens thought scouters were op and when people used to fight on the rock-solid ground. Man, Dragon Ball Z fights were just on another level.
楽しかったかい？人間として生きて。ああ、最高だったとも。
Vash vs Knives, Trigun. Holy hell, this fight is such a masterpiece. It was like 2 badass veteran samurai going at it but with guns instead. I kid you not, it had me feeling like a hand was holding the bottom of my heart from the inside, and that's exactly how intense it was. I mean, come on, look at that shot when the beams intertwine in the middle and cancel each other like yin and yang. It was so cool. And don't let me get started on that mid-air gun reloading. In that particular scene, not a single word was said, but you can still get the dramatic toll from just the facial expressions and heavy breathing. Vash versus Knives is truly one of the best fights in this list, yet still, it kind of triggers me that some people won't witness it because they came late to the anime.
関の肉体で俺は半間裕次郎の前に立つ。
And in 5th place, we get to the brothers with daddy issues. Baki Hanma versus Jack Hanma, or as Yujiro Hanma calls it, the best sibling fight in history. Or, even as the FBI calls it, domestic abuse. Zero punches were held back here, as that would be considered disrespect in the Hanma's loving household. Baki versus Jack was an all-out dogfight. Like, literally. It featured biting, growling, the whole mile. The fight ended with Baki on top, not because of the biting and the scratching, God no, but because he managed to activate the demon back for the first time, which was the catalyst that shifted the scales. But to be honest, what makes this fight even better to me is that despite having different mothers, both brothers show great respect to each other, with Jack showing absolute love and respect to his younger brother Baki.
ジノの部隊は前進。敵左翼が伸びる先を抑えて。Yes, Your Highness. 牽制か。こちらの左翼を後退させろ。
それでは陣形が崩れます。
よい。
Lelouch versus Schneisel, Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion R2. Who said that chess can't be thrilling? In this big-scale mecha chess game, Lelouch and Schneisel flex their IQ scores with each counter moving the other, making it a very suspenseful ride. First, the scales were seemingly tipping for the blonde boy, however, big boy Lelouch tipped it back with a volcano, decimating the traitor's Black Knights and asserting dominance. Oh, the level of satisfaction seeing that scene unravel, seeing those ungrateful fucks die by the push of a button was so good, especially that dude who was saying, "You see, Zero, when we work together, we can beat you." Anyway, all in all, it was a great fight, and the outcome was the best outcome.
ゆっくりと話し合う気もないんだな。
Sho Kusakabe versus Shinra Kusakabe, Fire Force. In 3rd place from Fire Force, it's the Kusakabe brothers, Sho and Shinra. I'd like to begin with showing my appreciation and likeness to the sound effects, the fire sound effects to be precise, because they were highly satisfying. And if you listen closely to this clip, you can hear how the sound design team managed to sneak a bruh in there.
引きずり回してでもお前を連れて行くからな。
Okay, so on one hand, you've got Sho Kusakabe who can heat the space around him to freeze time, whereas on the other hand, you've got the big brother Shinra Kusakabe who is speed itself. First, the fight was one-sided as the little brother was toying with Shin, however the scale shifted as Shin started to go gradually faster and faster, leveling the playing field. Both sides were going so fast to the point that the guy spectating the fight was seeing them for a split sec, and it kept on going till our boy Shin surpassed the speed of light, getting back in time, bringing back his Oni-chan, along with slapping him with some memories to bring him back to his sense, which he successfully does. All in all, the fight was dope, but if I had to pick a favourite moment, it would be that scene when Shin held Sho's cape and ran around him making a perfect circle. The frame from above was artistically beautiful. Hyakimaru versus Tomoharu Dororo. And here I thought fighting with my brother over which side of the room is mine was a big deal. Try fighting over a castle.
ここは私の城だ。生まれてよりここで育った。この庭を走り、剣を学んだ。これは私の部屋だ。風遣いは父上からいただいた。
At the end of the journey to retrieve his body part, Hyakimaru stumbles upon his younger brother Tomoharu, who earlier decided for the sake of the prosperity of the land to kill his older brother. Indeed, a hard decision to make. The fight between Hyakimaru and Tomoharu took place in the burnt castle of Daigo. The fight animation was pretty nice as expected, but what was spectacular to me was the OST, original soundtrack. It gave new life to the fight. Turning down the volume would be such a criminal thing to do. Other than that, the sword fight was pretty dope, camera angles were very nice, and the shift to the shadow figures in the fight was a nice touch, with some drama making it a highly enjoyable fight.
来い
Sasuke vs Itachi, Naruto Shippuden. And we end this list with another Naruto fight. Hate it or love it, but Naruto fights were the best fights out there and still considered as such. Hell, even the hand gestures are a piece of art, and it's low-key demonstrated in this brother versus brother fight. Sasuke vs Itachi was such a great fight. It had drama, tragedy, and a bit of a history lesson to it as well. In the first core of the fight, Genjutsu was very much used to the point that you don't know what's real and what's not. Truly, the Uchiha boys sure do know how to put on a play toying with your emotions. However, like every great fight, this brotherly showdown had to end, and it ended with Sasuke being the last man standing. And I say the last man standing because I still refuse to think he beat Itachi. I mean, A, the guy was sick and dying. B, we all know no matter what, Itachi wouldn't hurt that emo kid. And C, he was focused on how to extract Orochimaru, big white snake, out of that cringy boy. That said, I'm looking forward to your nice supportive comments. Don't forget to like and share, since that's what's most important. Also, subscribing and turning on the notifications would be a nice gesture too. So until next time, stay safe.